What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out Myriads Renaissance. This is a game about giant floating islands and dirigibles all firing broadsides at each other as two giant empires fight one another in the sky. I think that's a really appealing idea. If I had to compare this to anything else, it's kind of like Civilization, I guess. It is like a grid-based strategy game where you're building up a kingdom and you're managing like your civics and you're building a fleet of ships to go out and fight with the enemy. But if you really boil it down, it's actually kind of a stronghold defense game. This is a game where you're trying to wipe out the enemy, but there's kind of a meter that goes up, and whenever the meter fills, you get hit with like a massive wave of ships that you have to hold off on like every single side of you. And so it's got a little bit of like a defense vibe up in there as well. We're going to play Myriads Renaissance for about 30 minutes. We're going to take a look at the game, and we're going to try to figure out whether or not this is the right game for you, or if it's something that you are uninterested in. If you are interested in the game, I will have a link for you down below in the description where you can check it on out. And then, of course, on top of that, you can take a look down in the description to find my Discord, where you're welcome to swing through and chat with me. And then on top of that, you can also take a look for my Twitch, where I'm live most days of the week. Let's go ahead and start this thing off. We'll do ourselves a new kingdom. So, when you make your new kingdom, you are going to have to come up, we'll play on normal difficulty, that's fine. Don't need the tutorial, because I know what I'm doing. I did my prep work on this one. We do want to come up with like some shieldy boy colors, though. What kind of shield looks cool? I kind of like this Welsh-looking dragon right here. Like, I'm kind of feeling that dragon right there, I don't know. That's like, I think that's a good dragon right there. He's got a little bit of a weird tail, but I forgive him. He's still awesome. We'll make him like orange, and then for the back shield, we'll go like gray up there. Maybe a little bit of black. That's a little bit dull, though. It's a little bit dull. That's a little bit better. I take it. I think we'd be better off. That's the one right there. There's our guy. I was going to say it's the background pattern that's throwing it off. Now it looks good. Next up, you can also go through, and there's a bunch of different game modes over here. It wants me to beat the game first before I can get those other modes right there. We'll go ahead and line that up right there. We've got our faction ready to go. Let's hit the skies. It's time for us to participate in a little bit boom, boom, bang, 8-pounder diplomacy. We were the Nerd Castle. We still are, but we were. A powerful and proud empire. Our greatness was matched only by the Catena Empire, our greatest enemy. We split the world in two, our borders changing with each victory, and then I can't read fast enough. This is not the Great Fracture. This is not the world we knew. The continental battlefields we shaped are gone. Now there is nothing more than a myriad of shards, islands floating in a horizonless sky. Our scouts tell us that Catena has survived and aims to rule the skies. Well, that's just unacceptable. We won't let, that's right, the skies belong to the Nerd Castle. We will tear Catena's islands out one by one, and we will rule these shards of the old world. There can be only one Empire of the Skies. Here we are, born to be kings. So the first thing we got to do at the beginning of the game is we got to place our town center. Basically, every single map that you're going to interact with in this game is divided up into a central tile, and then there will be other tiles that you can drag in and chain to yours to give yourself some landmass that will allow you to build out buildings and increase things like your productivity. I'm going to put my town center like right there. Now that my town center is down, we're going to want to take a look at a couple menus. So over here, we've got our population menu. This game has the exact same population system as Civilization. You have various buildings. They will produce food. You need a requisite number of foods in order to maintain your population. All foods over the top of that number will then be converted into growth, where you get your next citizen at. Over here, we have our production queue for building things. We have our research tree. It's not the most enormous or the most enameled or the most gilded of skill trees, but it is functional, and there are some fun little things down on in there. I think it could probably afford to have a bit more expansion, but it's fine. We also have our quest log over here. The game will offer us quests from time to time. In the beginning of the game, those are sort of guiding you towards like the recommended build order for getting things done, but later on in the game, it's just going to be anything and everything like add an island to your domain, conquer 2 enemies in 1 turn, like something like that. Right here, you will find that we have the Patroller, which is one of our ships. The patroller is down here right now, actually. Ships are kind of interesting in this game. These are going to be the fundamental way by which you do most of your combat and most of your fighting. But your ships are kind of like a blank slate, and you put various types of troops inside of them that will increase the attack and will increase the defense. It's all linear. There's not a whole lot to it. From what I've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be like a rock, paper, scissors thing going on, but I would recommend that the game add that. So you should be able to have ships that are like gunboats, and gunboats are really strong versus like infantry ships, and then there would be, you know, if you put riflemen on board your ship, it would give you bonuses versus fighting against, like, conscripts. But if you put knights on there, then the riflemen, you know, aren't quite as useful. Some kind of rock, paper, scissors would have been really cool to see, but as far as I've seen so far playing the game, it doesn't appear to exist. For now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to attack this little orb right here. This contains science, and so you have to attack these little locations that have been taken over by smugglers and pirates, and it will give you science in return so that you can advance your tech tree. Let's go back to Dagno, apparently is the name of my town. In Dagno, we need to set up some production. So I think the first thing we should do is grab a farm, because that'll make our quest happy and give us a little bit of money. We don't really have too much more to work on for right now, so let's go ahead and bypass a turn or two. Did they knock that over down there? They got one more turn till that's knocked over. Gotcha. We were victorious. We only took 4 damage right there. This game doesn't have formalized combat of any sort. You basically just take your ships, you look at the strength, and you look at the HP, and you run them into other people's ships. The combat is incredibly simple, and as you get further on in, it's just going to be about managing your fleets and figuring out how many guys you need over here versus how many guys you need over here. But there's no rock, paper, scissors, or any weaknesses or strengths or anything else that are going to be added on in. But, you know, as I said, that'd be a really good idea. Let's go attack that spot for science right now, having gained some science. Oh, our farm's done too. I'll take my reward. We want a sawmill, and we want a lost secret. Well, we already looted one of those, so I'll just take my free money. The game does retroactively count quests, so if you've already done a thing and then you get a quest to go and do a thing, you're basically just getting free money. I appreciate that. I think it's a good system. Some people might disagree with me, but I think it's pretty awesome that you don't have to redo an action you already did just to get yourself, you know, back in the saddle. In our research tree, we want to go galleon healing for right now. That's going to allow our galleon to heal itself while it is idle so it can get some HP back, because as you can see, it's missing 4 HP. We're going to send it over to that spot, and then as far as what it wanted me to build, what was that other quest? A sawmill. They want me to increase my production. Yeah, I think I could probably do that. Let's go ahead, and we will put a sawmill on the forest tile right there. I would almost consider putting down 2 just to give us some faster... Not enough citizens. Never mind, we can't do 2 for right now. We need another free citizen before we're going to be able to lock in another sawmill. But in a turn or 2, it should be done. Did my galleon get there to attack that secret spot? Because I would like for it to attack the secret-y secret. There we go. We are now engaging with the pirates that have that secret right there. These are blockades. You've got to break these in order to get into neighboring areas. If you wanted to think about this game logically, it's basically Sins of a Solar Empire. You have central areas that have like various resources, and they have locations where you can build things, and then you've got warp gates that take you to other systems that will then have their own sets of resources and whatnot. That's the way that I think about it anyways. However, the game is highly condensed, so don't think that there's going to be too much complication here. This is actually a fairly simple 4X game by comparison to other things on the market. More of like a beer and pretzels 4X game, I would say. And so we've got... Our farm is down, our sawmill is done. We don't have a civilian right now. We do have a civilian available right now. Never mind then. We've got 14 production going out right now, which is okay for this phase of the game. I would say probably put up a mine, because that's going to give us money generation. Mines, they go on these tiles over here, these mountain tiles that are in the center. And it's going to take a couple turns for that to get done too, so we'll just wait on it. Oh, we have an invader. Okay, let's go get him. All right, boys. It's time to go hard in the paint. Yep, let's set up a naval blockade over here. Don't let them make the jump back to the capital. The Catanians must die. Okay, so we are met in combat, and our fleet is now fighting with their fleet. I would have liked a little bit more detail here where they actually pull up alongside each other and you can see them kind of floating instead of just sitting there in a static way. And, like, you could see them actually, like, firing. And, like, if you zoomed in on them, you could hear guys being like, "Load the 12-pounders!" You know, and, like, people, we can hear the screaming and the fighting, but, like, other more specific things would have been cool, too, just to make it a little bit more immersive. What do I want to do now? Our mine is up and running. That's given us 70 gold per turn. It looks like our overhead is currently like 110. The next thing we're probably going to want to do is we're probably going to want to pave a location. So paving a location, locations have like different tags. They can be a mountain, they can be a forest, they can be a marsh, they can be a swamp. And different buildings can go on different things, but there's also like a fourth or like a fifth class of building, and that can only go on spots that you have paved over. And so we need to get a shipyard going, and we need to get a cartographer as well. So I'm going to put a paved square in over here so that we can start with our military, maybe. Then again, we might need that for a farm. But then again, I can always pull in another tile. Like, I could pull in this guy right here. And we could use that to do our farming, I think. Where can the farms go? What tiles do farms go on? It must be on a wetland tile. That one looks pretty smushy and wet, dude. I see cattails. I see lily pads. I see all of the indicators that is a squishy, nasty place to mess up some boots. So I think we'll probably pull that one back on over and see if we can get it to fit in this little nook right here. Would be pretty cool, I think. There's a limit to how much you can pull on in. I think we can only have 15 tiles for our initial starting until we get a research, which bumps it up to like 20. But paving is underway. Have we won the battle yet? The battle has been won. The enemy has been laid low, and they now fall back down to the surface to suffer. We're going to go ahead and we're going to attack this little barrier over here, too. A new quest is available. I love questing. Okay, so they want me to have 15 civilians. $50 for that quest. Expand your capital island with a tug. Yeah, oh, they gave me a free tug. I didn't even need to buy one. Sweet, dude. Okay, well, let's add a shard on in. I think I want this guy right here. Oh, we only have 2 spaces. Okay, so this guy then. It looks like I can stick it right there. And I like that spot, so I'm going to stick it right there. My little tugboats, they're going to go out, they're going to grab that guy, and they're going to bring him back over here. And they're going to chain him up. There it is. See? Now we're all chained up, and there's our paved tile right there. I love the way that when you play this game, if you look in the background, you can actually see, like, the map down below you that you're playing on top of. It's kind of, I mean, actually, I don't know if that's a map or if it's just a bunch of, like, sacred geometry looking stuff. I don't know. Either way, we're in decent shape right now. We are going to want to put down a shipyard. That way we can manufacture more combat ships to protect ourselves. We're also probably going to want to get another sawmill, depending on when we get our next available civilian. It's not going to be very soon. So after the sawmill is done, we're going to want to farm, I think, to keep us up and running on population cap. With that barricade right there, did we win? We did indeed win. All right, you guys come back over here. Now, you might be wondering about these little tiles right here. What do you do with these tiles? These tiles right here, you can build things on top of them that have various functions. So, like, you can build a hospital. Hospitals make it so that you heal faster when your ship is stationed there. You can build a tower. The tower, it fights with the enemy. It fires shots at them while they're trying to fly in to damage them before they arrive to make them a softer target. You can build a manor. That's going to increase your bonus score, I guess, just in case. You can also build a lighthouse. What a lighthouse does is it lowers the amount of AP that it requires for your ships to fly around. So you may have noticed we have 3 AP, but each move takes us 2 AP. If we were to put lighthouses all over the place, it would only take us 1 AP, and we could cruise around our territory much more safely and much more quickly. You head down that way, but also, like, heal up a little bit, I guess. I don't know what you're going to look like turn by turn. You're getting 5 HP back. Okay, that's perfectly fine. you should be available for my usage soon then. We've got 6 turns left until we get another population. The shipyard is officially done, so that's really good, but we lack the population to do what it is that we want to do right now. So it's going to be a few more turns while we get that in order. Now, you may have noticed the big threatening red meter over here with the skull on it. That's the friendliness meter. What happens is when that fills up all the way, we get to have a puppy party where we all roll around on the floor with a dozen baby golden retrievers. No, that's actually when we're going to get hit by the next big wave of Catanians. That's when they decide they're going to come after us. That's when they throw the book at you. And so the game is going to spawn a big wave, and we're going to have to fight them off when that happens. And the waves get worse and worse. BT dubs. So, like, you kind of want to win quickly if you can manage it. We can build a mine. I already have a mine. Extend the city. So build a paved square. We already did that too. Build a shipyard. We already did that. We're ahead of the curve right now. Build a tower. Okay, they want me to build a tower to defend my territory. I think I can manage that. This feels like a strong position for a tower right here because it basically blocks off that access point, so I'm okay with it. We're going to attack this guy right here too. Okay, we were victorious. And then this other fleet has moved in, but we do have the victorious angle right there, so we should be able to take him too, and it should be all right. This guy right here, as you can see, he can target anything that's adjacent on his turn, and he fires a big cannon at him and deals damage to him. And so there is a bit of a tactical layer to this game where you can like play around with things and sort of defend yourself. But I feel like most of the systems in this game are basic by design. It's meant to be like a rapid fire game that plays quickly. I'm going to take a productivity boost. That way I make more money. We increases farms, sawmills, mines production for the identical adjacent building located on the same shard. That means it's probably in our best interest. Maybe in our best interest to bulldoze the shipyard and go again right after. Has it been 6 turns yet? I need it to be 6 turns. Yep, you just kind of cruise back that way. I need a new civilian. We do have a civilian now. Good. So that means that I can pop in before we slow down too much on our population production. I want to put a farm over here. It's a bummer. I should have paved this one and maybe put it... Well, I was going to have to do it either way, I guess. So I guess I'll put another farm right there so that we get the additive bonus. I gotta wait a turn or two for my ships to be stronger, too. How's my ship looking right now? Almost max HP? Alright, let's go scout to the north. Oh, the enemy's coming again. Well. What can you do? You just kind of lay an anchor right there then and wait for him to arrive, and we'll pummel him first with the cannon, and then you can move forward. So as to preserve some HP for the longer term fighting. Now that we have 4 food coming on in, it shouldn't take us nearly as long to generate our next population. It should be quite rapid, so I think it'll be okay. Only 5 turns to get a population now. There's the enemy. Can I reach him with my guns yet? I cannot reach him with my guns. But next turn, I'm gonna reach out and let the gun touch him. Oh, he got sunk by something else. What did he get sinked by? I have questiones. Ooh, new territory and a treasure chest. I don't need the treasure chest right now, but maybe someday I'll need the treasure chest. Let's go ahead and scout out the fog of war here and see what we can find. There's science. That's good. We could definitely use some science. Science is rad. Over here, we've got a 30v30, so we're going to have to beefcake up a little bit before we can handle that fight. First and foremost, though, let's go back and let's build another farm. Yeah, I think another farm future-proofs us a little bit. So we'll put a farm up there. We'll probably pave this guy right here. And then after that, we'll put in a sawmill right there, maybe. I haven't truly decided. But we need another population because I think we're going to need to build another gunship maybe. I don't have a training arena, so I can't train more troops to slot into my ship to make it stronger yet. So I think we're just going to need to use this guy to gather loose resources for now, rather than fight with the enemy. But I would like to wipe out that pirate cove right there before too long. Alright, so now we got 8 food coming in, and we gained some science, 280 to be specific. Exploitation colony or training camp is actually kind of what we want so that we can get better soldiers to put on our ships. That way they fight better, they wipe out enemies quicker, all that kind of fun stuff. There's another boat right there too. Well, let's get that lost secret real quick because I'm trying to expand my scientific knowledge right now. I'm not just slaughtering for no reason, all right? I'm killing a guy so that I can get better knowledge on how to kill a guy. Reward for the tower, we'll take that. Send your galleon to unlock a strait. We've already done that. Build a settler ship. We will get on that at one point or another. Secure an archipelago. Okay, so they want us to attack a lair. We're getting into the serious business now. What's going on in our town? I haven't checked back in on town in a little bit. So the paved square's still got another turn till it's done. I'm going to put the training camp over there, I think. And so now that we've unlocked a training camp, let's slap that in right there. It's going to take us 3 turns in order to get that knocked out. Your galleon has been victorious. Good. I want more technology. I'm going to increase the size of my island. And I'm also going to deploy mines, I guess, just to protect my straits. Yeah. I think I can probably do that. Put some mines down on each of the straits. And then you come on back to town. That way, we can actually stock you up with a whole bunch of upgraded soldiers once the training camp is done. Dude, look at our mines are gold. That's the most baller thing I've ever seen in my life. That's legit. You know that you're balling out when the mines you use to explode your enemy are made out of gold. All right, we made it to town. Anything that you build on an island counts as a lighthouse, by the way. So a lighthouse basically gives it lighthouse functionality, but if you build a tower, it still gives you the AP reduction just like a lighthouse does. So really, it's like you're civilizing these islands, and once you have civilization on them, you can move more quickly. Now, what we need to do is we need to stock up from the training camp. We've got one more turn until that's done. That's fine by me. Training camp is now finished, and we have soldiers available. So what I need to do now is I need to bring this guy in, and we click on the dock button right there, and it'll dock him up next to our city. And now that he's docked up, we can think about what we want to do with our conscripts. I'm going to add a bunch of conscripts to this thing. I'd also like to disband these regiments right here too, because we're doing upgrades. And so in about 5 or 6 turns, we should be in really good shape. What I'm hoping is the mines will take out both of these enemy fleets that are headed towards us. That right there is actually an invasion fleet, so we need to be doubly careful about that. That's because the threat meter rolled over. There's no indicator when the threat meter rolls over. It would have been nice to see, because we're sitting on a map right now, it would be cool to see the edges kind of like turn to cinders and then be like, a wave has been sent. You know what I mean? Like there's a pop-up right here that's kind of like with horns on the side of it, like, ha ha. I think we should be solid. I need to see how much the mines are going to mess that guy up, though. How much damage do the mines do? Oh, it panned me off screen. Oh, it cut his health down by half. Good. I need a few more turns to get, like, all my conscripts up and ready to go to fight with this invasion. So once he moves over to there, we'll hit him with the cannon again, too. We'll pepper him up a little bit with the grape shot. There it is. Let him feel it, baby. Let him feel it. Actually, I think he's going to die when he crosses over to right there, so I don't think it even matters. Yep, my one tower was all that it took. Look at the attack damage on this guy now. 2 more turns and we're going to be able to take some scalps, man. Oh, but we have army overhead to think about. Okay, so it's getting pricey. I didn't realize there was so much overhead on these conscripts. Oh, they're minus 50 a turn. That's so much, dude. All right, well, we're going to have to come up with a solution to that plan then. Let's go ahead and put down another adjacent mine right there. That'll give us like another, like what, 35 bucks coming on in, but it's got the adjacency bonus between the two, so it should take the edge off a little bit so that it doesn't sting quite so much. But we may have to disband a few troops then. I'll take that down to there. It was a little bit of a waste of time, but now we have enough to conclusively sort of invade enemy territory. All right, head back on out, and we're going to hit that lair. All right, we're pulling up on them. It's time to expand our domain. Oh, never mind. That guy moved in. He wanted to fight with us. Luckily, we're so strong now that we one-shot those guys instead of taking 2 turns to kill them. But still, we seem to be in okay shape. Let's move over to here. And we will conquer. Yep, let's get those Corsairs. Let's take them out. I want their spot. I'm greedy. I'm greedy and I want it. We still have a little bit of a problem with our overhead, so we're going to have to work on that. I need to build a settler ship so that I can make a colony over here too. So maybe we'll do that. We do have 2 extra people ready to go. Our population growth is about as high as it can be right now, too. We're going to need the technology that lets us expand our island, I think. Or did I already take it? Did I take that? I did. We can actually have +3 tiles, so I can make a tug right now. And get a little tuggy going. There we go. And then we can pull in a few more island slots to help us out with our population issues. I'll probably grab... I can add 3 tiles. The forest would increase our production, which would be nice. Or we can mix and match, I guess, towards like what makes us happy. Although one of these little 3-bangers right here might be good. Maybe slot it in right there. Yeah, I'll give it some thought. How goes the fight? Are we victorious? Oh, look at that. We killed them all. Good. We still got 3 turns till our tug comes back. So I think we're still kind of like on the waiting end of the game. But I'm going to swing down to the south, and I'm going to do him dirty down south the same way that I did it up here. So we'll bring this guy back and just have him sail for the strait, I guess. Honestly, I don't even know if we need a defensive fleet. We could just put in 2 towers right there. It'd probably be hype enough to keep us protected, too. Yeah, just keep going. Is my tuggy done? Yeah, my tuggy's done. Alright. Let's get... Oh, my island's changed around on me. There's 3 marshland over there. I guess it sort of depends how much we care about production. I guess I'll put it right there. It didn't want me to put it down here. It was like against that idea. Alright, so we've got another chunk of land that we can play around with. We're going to have to develop it. We only have 4 houses remaining, which means we can only get +4 to our population. So, like, 1 more farm is probably in order. So let's do that. We also probably want to get another mine going. Yeah, I think I could drop another mine in there to take the edge off. That uses up the remainder of our population, though. So, like, there's not going to be too much more growth to play around with from here. And you go ahead and move into a blocking position. We're going to head south and kill these fools. We're gonna take them out something nasty. If I had more money on me right now, I would strongly consider... That bought me 2 more turns. I would strongly consider putting in 2 cannons right here, just so there's no way they get across that line right there. We'll wipe this guy out real quick while we're inside sovereign territory and see how the whole thing goes. When you get further on into the game, there are like trading colonies and there's the production of goods, and there are some things that add some extra mechanics to the game to increase your score on a given playthrough, like trade deals and, you know, palaces and things like that that you can build. But at its core, my observation of this game so far is that it's a pretty simple, no-frills strategy game. And I think that the fundamental conflict here is going to be with the actual price of the game. It's $20. And so this is a fairly simple strategy game that I don't think is going to offer up an enormous amount of replayability. I think that the amount of depth that exists inside like the shipbuilding and inside the combat system, there's not enough interconnecting parts right there, and then the game has a fairly simplistic tech tree that you kind of work your way down without much variety there either. So my guess would be that this is going to become a conflict between the $20 price cap and the fact that at that price range, like Civ 5 is like $29.99, and so during summer sales, like we're about to go into right now, you're going to be able to buy much more in-depth games like Warhammer Total War. You're going to be able to buy much more in-depth games like Civ, things that have a lot more replayability as well for probably around the same price point. And so, despite the fact that everything in this game seems to be fairly well polished, and I think that it's got a very unique building system when it comes to pulling together the islands, I think that definitely introduces a nice angle to the game. The fact of the matter is that there's loads of games out there about building civilizations that have a lot more armies, they have a lot more variety, they have a lot more things going on with the map, they have kind of rock, paper, scissors things going on with their units. Their units can also customize and level up in various ways, and that kind of leaves this game sort of in the odd spot of being a simple game that I think is overpriced. I would guess that if you could get this game on sale for like $5 or like maybe $10, like, yeah, dude, it'll probably kill like 4 or 5 hours, like maybe like 2 playthroughs if you wanted to like play around with one type of ship, and then play around with like a turtle playthrough or like a defensive playthrough. But other than that, I think it's just going to be that conflict between depth of content, depth of mechanics, replayability, and a price point that kind of puts it in contention with a lot of other games that offer those things in much greater amounts. So that's Myriad Renaissance. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, Myriads Renaissance. Tomorrow it'll be something else. Thank you for hanging out with me, and that's all I got for you. Bye, folks.